Well then, hey guys, and welcome to this video where we will take a look at one of the big announcements from Dovetail Games, and that is the upcoming release of Train Sim Worlds 2. So this was an announcement made on the 9th of June, with release currently set for August the 6th, 2020. This was certainly not an announcement that I was expecting myself, and certainly not many in the community either, with most people expecting the announcements of 2021 on this day. But instead, we got something much different, and in my opinion, much more. But before we get on to my views, it would also be worth giving the announcement post a read too. Anything that I have used, I have links down below in the description, but the information we currently have is as following. Train Sim Worlds 2. The evolution of train simulation, coming 6th of August, 2020. Master iconic locomotives on high-speed services, long freight hauls, or precise commuter traffic, and get creative with customization tools in this advanced sequel. Climb into the cab in Train Sim Worlds 2. Authentically replicated routes and locos. Feel the thrill of high-speed intercity German rail as you push the throttle and climb to speeds in the famous DB ICE3M out of Köln. Take on the challenge of hauling long freight across sandpatch grade of CSX AC4400CW, and master the complex operations of the London Underground on the Bakerloo Line. All official licenses, all authentically recreated. You're in the cab and in control. Get creative. Personalise your rail journey with 2 brand new, easy-to-use tools. Create your own custom liveries with the livery designer that allows you to craft both simple and complex designs to bring your Train Sim Worlds 2 loco liveries to life. Create your own scenario with the scenario planner, picking your locos and destinations before you jump in and take to the rails. Quick drive your way. Experience a new level of realism. The proprietary Simulgraph vehicle dynamics engine has evolved, adding realistic adhesion physics for the first time. Feel the slip of wheels in adverse weather, master moving heavy freight, and keep control of your loco power on steep inclines. Optimized and upgraded visual fidelity also gives Train Sim Worlds 2 dynamic skies and 4K supports. Immerse yourself in simulation. Get clearer information on instructions, gradient and speed profiles as you drive, including the new HUD displays, clarity to onboard safety systems, brake controls, power meter and accelerometer. A new control scheme will give great choices on camera and driving modes, and allows easier access from external camera mode to enter another vehicle in your consist, all while full physics simulations are still running. Preserved TSW collection. Preserve your Train Sim Worlds collection. Your collection comes with you. You can play your Train Sim Worlds 2020 add-ons in Train Sim Worlds 2. Train Sim World has always been about your collection, your choice of add-ons from your favourite region, time period, diesel, electric, passenger freight, your way. Your purchased Train Sim Worlds 2020 add-ons will also be available to play in Train Sim Worlds 2. Below the announcement is also a series of questions and answers that I'm sure the community have regarding this new announcement, such as what happens to your Train Sim Worlds 2020 content when TSW2 comes out, updates on different features such as multiplayer and the route editor, and of course, some detailed explanation about what to expect in this new simulator and what we can find in the upcoming months, such as track IR support. This is certainly an interesting read, and so I'd either recommend you to pause the video to have a quick read of it here, or instead, head to the link in the description to read up on this update yourself. Immediately after looking at this announcement, I was struck by the new name as well as the 3 trains that are sitting underneath it, the AC4400CW, an ICE3M, and what I think is the most exciting of all, a London Underground's 1972 stock Mark II. Now I was certainly taken aback by this. I didn't expect to see much from London Underground on this platform, at least so soon. Knowing too that the community have wanted the LOL route for a fair while, and Just Trains releasing the Metropolitan line for Train Simulator not too long ago, it's certainly nice as a Londoner myself to see the world's oldest metro network starting to see a lot more heading its way. While it may not be the longest route, the Bakerloo does give you a fair offering starting from Elephant and Castle, with its terminus all the way at Harrow Wealdstone, half of which runs above ground and alongside the West Coast Main Line from Queen's Park. The 1972 stock is also a lot more manual and hands-on than lots of current generation London Underground stock, and unlike many offerings which are now ATO, Bakerloo Line still runs at full manual. The Deutsche Bahn ICE is also a very nice addition too, with the Köln Schnellfahrstrecke route offering German high speed alongside the long-forgotten Bombardier Talents 2 we previously saw on Rapid Transit. Now the ICE is without a doubt an iconic train, and one that revolutionised high-speed travel in and around Europe alongside the French networks. The Talents 2 is also a train I very much enjoys driving in Train Sim World, and so it's nice to see some love heading that loco's way too. Next we have the upgrade to CSX Heavy Haul, or Sandpatch Grade as it was later known, and this too I'm sure will be welcomed. The longest route in Train Sim World as well as the original, I cannot wait to get back into the action of it with all of the original scenarios, as well as the 14 new ones on the way. It will also be fully optimised to current Train Sim World standards, while also being in all new routes for those on console. It will also be fantastic to see some of the new core upgrades coming to the platform too, such as the completely reworked adhesion system that takes train weight and rail condition into account, which will also pair nicely with the upgraded simulgraph and updated train dynamics. Livery building and scenario creation will also prove to be popular too in my opinion. One thing I know I certainly want is to do a skin for the Class 377 from East Coastway, kit it out in Great Western Green, and run it out of Paddington on the Great Western Express, creating essentially a dummy 387 which runs on the line in modern times. That is assuming, however, that the legacy locos and routes will also be compatible with this new feature. Now that's another talking point too, Train Sim World Legacy. If you own Train Sim World 2020 and a number of the DLC routes and locos it comes with, you don't lose any of them on this new platform, rather see them ported across. By bringing the former routes over like this, it looks for the most part that we won't be seeing too much to come with the routes we already have, bar any major bug fixes. I however wouldn't say this is particularly a bad thing, especially as it means we'll see a lot more time come for new content in the future. It would also mean that if you do decide to buy Train Sim Worlds 2, you won't lose out on any of your previous routes in any way. This will probably be the best way to do this, as at the very least it means you won't need to flip-flop between the two simulators, instead having it all in one place readily available. The new UI and camera controls are also two things that I'm intrigued by. Train Sim World's UI is certainly not bad in any way, and is good at what it does, but at least in my opinion, doesn't quite give you as much information as you would get in Train Simulator. For newer simmers too who just want to jump in and drive, I'd certainly like to see some on-screen, simple controls per se, that gives you a lot more casual method of driving over the full CAD controls. It's also a given that this new simulator will not be free. Train Sim Worlds 2 is a new game and has its own fresh Steam store page, and I'm sure that the same will carry over to console users too. However much this will cost, we don't know as of yet, but given that we have 2 all new routes and a largely upgraded third, as well as the ability to keep the content you already have regardless of what platform you use in the future, I don't think that many will see a massive issue in this upgrade. It will certainly cost more than a standalone route or loco in the current Train Sim world, being closer to the price of a full game release. But if this is what is required for Dovetail Games to take the simulators to the next level with so many base game upgrades on the way, then I feel for the most part that people will take this. But that won't be all on Dovetail's part, as in return, we will also certainly expect to see future releases at the next level, much higher than what we're currently being offered in Train Sim Worlds 2020. Buying all of the routes in a new base game will certainly not be cheap, but ultimately, it's Dovetail's job at the end of the day to make this very much worth it. Dovetail Games as a company have garnered a lot of criticism over the last few years with their business model, many calling infamously to their Train Simulator DLC list, but I don't think they deserve much of what they receive. They're not perfect, certainly not, but they are one of the few developers that produce so much for the relatively niche simulator community. Too much DLC? Think of it as variety. Certainly no one expects you to own it all. Having spoken to and met the developers on a number of occasions, such as at Worley National or the London Festival of Railway Modelling, I know that this team is very passionate at what they're doing, and make decisions based on what they truly believe is the best way forward. Again, they're not perfect, but they are certainly doing what they love, and for a number of their routes and locos, this work does certainly shine through. I'm sure that above all, the community can appreciate the work that will have gone into Train Sim Worlds 2, and a little bit of positivity, it certainly won't go amiss. So, what do you guys think? Is Train Sim Worlds 2 the right way forward, or is it just another product in the long line of offerings that Dovetail Games have to give? Are you also as excited as I am to see the London Underground finally represented in a simulator? Do let me know down below what you think, and I wish you all the best in the upcoming weeks. Take care, and goodbye.